No 5-7-10 there. Ooh, wow.
Welcome back to JR Pro Shop Vids. Jimu here, change of scenery. We're gonna be talking about the new Eternity Pie from 900 Global. My cousin Jungo out on these lanes. He's gonna be bowling on a longer pattern today because look at this ball. How does this ball not look like it's gonna hook right at the dots? Yeah, it's gonna hook a lot. So, Eternity Pie, this is the next ball in the Eternity line. This is an ASIM solid when the original was an ASIM pearl. So it's gonna roll a lot earlier, a lot stronger, and cover a lot of boards. So today, we have 3 asymmetrical solid balls from the Storm Umbrella, and we're gonna be testing all 3 of them against each other on this longer pattern. We have the Eternity Pie, the Clone, and the Tour Dynamics. You'll see in a bit, Jungo's gonna explain that even though they're all asymmetrical solids, doesn't mean their intent is for the exact same purpose. So stay tuned for that. Like I said, longer pattern, sport shot today, London, 44 feet. These balls need a lot of oil, especially this one, so we're gonna be bowling on some long oil. All right, we'll do our promos later. Jungo, let's go bowl.
All right, Jungo is back. We got the brand new 900 Global Eternity Pie. And Barks in the shop thinks it's called pie because the digits go on for an eternity. Eh? Yeah. All right, so we're gonna start out. We're on 44-foot London, playing pretty oily, so we're gonna use a big ball here, Eternity Pie. And we got 2 other asymmetrical solids. We got the Tour Dynamics and we got the Clone, right? So this vid is gonna show you that even though they're all asim solids, they're not all created equal. They're all gonna have really different shapes and they're all gonna play a different part of the lane well, right? So I think this Eternity Pie is gonna be really good for playing straighter angles. So look how dull it is, right? It's gonna start really early, really smooth, and that's just good for playing straight on fresh. Let's give it a shot. All right, I'm gonna stand on 20 and we're gonna aim at 13 at the arrows. Little baby swing out to 9 or 10. Have this ball roll into the pocket. All right, not a bad shot, just a little bit right. As you can see, that ball just does not want to turn the corner in the back end. Really early, really rolly, extremely predictable. This ball is made for oil. All right, Eternity Pie, once again, same line. I'm just gonna move the break point a little bit left of the previous shot. Ball reacted the same, just kept it a little left of the break point. And as you can see, that ball rolls really strong, really early, and it's made for the fresh, right? So let's go down to the Tour Dynamics, throw the same shot, see what happens. So this one has much less differential, so less hook potential overall. Probably a weaker cover stock. We're gonna throw the same line. Gonna get down the lane a little easier, have a little more pop on the back end, and we'll see how it goes to the pins. All right, it wasn't as high flush as the Eternity, so it does hook a little bit less, but we still hit the pocket because we're in the right part of the lane for this oil pattern. And if I were to bowl for score, I would probably start with the Eternity right now, but we don't know what the Clone looks like, so let's throw that right now. Okay, now we have the Clone. A big ASIM solid, but it comes polished out of the box, right? Haven't touched it, so we're gonna use it as is, and we're gonna see what the reaction difference is. Previous Clone video, this ball was pretty far down lane, really continuous in the back end. So I think this might look really good on this pattern as well. Same line. Yeah, really high flush, just like the Eternity. Got there in a little different way though. Got down the lane a little easier, way more continuous, right? So 3 strikes with 3 different balls. You can already start to see the difference in reaction. All right, so I think that was a sweet spot for the Eternity. Let's go 3 left, and let's see if this ball has enough energy in the back end. Ooh, that was great. A little bit left, all still recovered from the dry. Down lane, a little bit high, tripped the 4. So I think we can keep moving left with this to eternity. All right, let's go 3 more to the left. So 6 left of the original spot. I'm gonna try to keep the break point the same. 10 board down lane at 44 feet. This ball should hook. Beautiful. So as I'm moving left, this ball it keeps recovering. That's a good sign. You know, I'm just afraid that sometimes these balls are a little too dull. They just use their energy up before the arrows. Once it gets down lane, it's toast. This ball seems to start up pretty early, but still be continuous. That's a pretty tough thing to do. All right, same line with the Tour Dynamics here. 6 left of the original line. And I think now is when you're gonna see this ball start to hook a little less. A little less engine, a little less cover. Okay, there you go, perfect example. That was really good off my hand. Posted it. I thought that was gonna at least hit the pocket light, but just not enough engine in that ball to come back from that angle on this long pattern. So left the bucket. So I think the true spot for that Tour Dynamics is back where we started, 6 boards to the right. So if you missed it, just in our previous vid, the Motive Pride, Jimu threw the Tour Dynamics as well. Check out that vid right here. For someone like Jimu, a little higher ball speed, a little higher rev rate, something like the Tour Dynamics could be pretty close to a benchmark ball, right? But someone with a little slower speed, the Tour Dynamics could probably be your tank. So a very versatile ball, can be used at a variety of different situations, different people. So you just have to find the right ball for your benchmark ball. So for me, the Tour Dynamics on the higher end of my bag, right? Phase 2, stuff like that, those are my benchmark balls. So these balls here, these balls are high end. These balls hook a ton. All right, that's enough chit chat. Clone, same line. We'll see if this one can hook in the back end. Again, perfect. A little later than the Eternity. Still has that engine to come back and hit the pocket, where the Tour Dynamics was lazy and weak. Kind of stayed out there, left the bucket. Just a 10 pin with the clone. So overall, I think the Eternity hooks the most. We have a new hook monster in the Storm Umbrella. I wish I had a fresh Proton to throw against it. That ball was a beast. All right, let's repeat that with the clone. Yeah, pretty close to the same shot. Left the Swisher 7 on that time, so just a little bit weaker than the Eternity, just a hair. And I think it would be a really good 1-2 combo on a pattern like this long here, where you really need strong balls and a variation of strong balls. But if we were bowling on a short or medium, right, I don't think you would need both, right? Too close together. But because it's long, right, we're gonna need some high-end balls, and we're gonna need a variation of those. All right, question time with Jungo. New Eternity Pie. You know, I wish this was a Storm ball, because this ball would smell amazing. Looks like some sort of cranberry rhubarb pie. That would be good. All right, anyways, question time. Pie, lots of numbers. Are you the kind of bowler that pays attention to all the numbers of the balls and all the stats and all that stuff, buys balls, drills them accordingly? Or are you a feel bowler? Let your pro shop guy handle the drilling, and you go out there, you throw it, you figure out where it fits, you do by feel. Let me know down in the comments below. Okay, we know this pie is hooking. Who's hungry? 3 more to the left, so 9 from the original line. Let's try and keep the same break point. We're gonna try and slow it down though. Make a little adjustment beforehand. It's a strike, boys. It's a strike. No 5, 7, 10 there. So another 3 left from that one. Ball's getting pretty lazy, right? Ball wants to roll early, you know? And if you're too deep on especially a long pattern, it's just gonna have no energy going to the pins. No jizz, right? Almost at the 5, 7, 10. But I think the clone is gonna look really good from in here. We're now 9 left of the original spot, and we're gonna slow it down just like the pie. That ball is weaker. Pie hit the pocket from there. That kind of left like a Swisher 2-8-10, 8-10 action thing. So I think we're just too deep on this pattern. There's just too much oil, too much volume, too much length. Even the strongest balls aren't making it back. So let's bump back to the right 2, and let's throw them again. We're bumping back 2 to the right. Everything remains the same. Oh yeah, so that's 2 boards to the right with my feet. Eternity just mows them down. Kind of like a half hit, pins just disappear. Throw 1 with a clone on this line, just to get a good reaction in the back end, just to show the reaction difference. It's a little longer, a little more continuous. Yeah, that was perfect. That ball rounded the corner much better than the Eternity down lane. Mowed them pins over, where the Eternity was kind of like a half hit. Really good 1-2 punch on a really long pattern and difficult one like this. If you're not bowling long all the time, I don't think you need both the clone and the Eternity. One of them will do. You can polish them, dull them, whatever you need. All right, one last shot here with the Eternity in the sweet spot. Let's go back to the shop. Ooh, flat 10. That's all right. Shot. Alright, Jungo's back from the lanes throwing the brand new Eternity Pie. Now, if you don't want to listen to me talk the conclusion, skip ahead to the end. We got rapid fire. You can really tell the difference in reaction of the balls at the end of the video. Anyways, if you want to listen to me talk, this Eternity Pie came out of the box extremely dull. And I was super afraid that it was just going to hook super early, right at the dots, just like Goots' Hellcat, if you remember that video. Ball hooked at the dots on a long pattern. It was crazy. That ball had dust on it. It was so dull. Anyway, I threw a few shots with it warming up, got a little bit of lane shine on it, got a little bit of oil going, and this ball was really, really good on the fresh on a London 44 feet. I was able to play a little bit straighter, keep my angles a little bit tighter, just play kind of in that track area, and this ball rolled really early, really smooth, but still had a little bit of continuation down lane. And just because of that, I was a little afraid that if I was moving left, it would just get a little bit lazy and a little bit weak into the pocket, but it kept turning. It kept being continuous. Kept going through the pins really well until I got a little bit too far left, which was 9 boards left of where I started. So all in all, a good experience throwing this ball, moving a little bit left, inching left, which I was afraid I wasn't going to be able to do with how dull this ball was coming out of the box. Some of the other balls that came out really dull that I had a problem with was like the Supernova as well as the Gem. I really had to play straight with those balls on fresh. As soon as I started moving my feet left, I had to change balls. I had to get out of it. So that's what I was afraid of with this one, but not the case. I decided to compare it to 2 other asymmetrical solids. Just because it's an asymmetrical solid doesn't mean they're all the same, right? We got the Tour Dynamics here. It's a little bit weaker in terms of the asymmetry, so not as asymmetric, and you can tell a few shots I threw really well right on top of the Eternity here, and it just didn't hook enough, right? It just did not hook as much. Just left the bucket there on one of the shots where I struck with this, which kind of surprised me. I thought this would hook a little bit more. That's what the balls do. This ball is just that much stronger than something like the Tour Dynamics here. And then I also through the Clone, another asymmetrical solid, but this one's got polish. In the previous vid I did for this, I noticed it went really far down lane and it was really smooth and continuous through the pin deck. Not sharp, but just enough. So as you can tell, all 3 of these have a pretty distinct reaction, and just because they're asymmetric solids doesn't mean they're the same. You could have a couple asymmetric solids in your bag, in your tournament bag, your 6-ball arsenal, and there should be no issues, right? If you get 2 that are different enough. So I'm thinking something like Eternity and then the Tour Dynamics. If we're bowling on a lot of oil, we need some surface and we got to play some straighter angles. These 2 are the balls that we want to bring. But if we're bowling on a little bit longer oil, you know, something a little thinner, not as much volume, we need some balls that get down the lane a little easier, we're going with these 2. And then if we're bowling on long with a lot of oil like we were today on something like London, you know, these 2 are going to look the best. So you just never know. Just because it's, you know, in the same category of asymmetric solid doesn't mean it's the same ball, as I repeat myself for the 100th time. So in conclusion, the Eternity comes out of the box super dull, looks like it's gonna hook at the dots, but as soon as you get a little bit of oil going on it, this ball is really, really good. I'm gonna be using it on a fresh on a lot of different patterns, especially when there's a lot of oil, and I'm able to stick with this ball for probably a couple games before I have to get out of it. It's pretty versatile for being a big early rolling tank. Really good ball by 900 Global. Again, I think I'm gonna be using this ball a lot. I think this is gonna be one of my new tanks, replace one of the realities I have sitting in my bag. So if you want to support the channel, get some merch, we're at jrproshop.threadless.com. You can order whatever you want, ships right to your door. Shirts, sweaters, phone cases, anything. They will put our logo on it and send it to you. Also, don't forget shop.boofabowling.com. Jungle Barks 10% off your order at checkout. He's got absolutely everything bowling related, even these cool jerseys. That's where we got these from. So go check it out, because you can customize your name and everything, even the logo you want on the front. Thanks for watching. See you in the next vid.